keep it locked. This is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Garrett. Hi. Yeah. Like a week and a half, something like that, yeah. Yeah, I had to take a big test, so I've been studying and just been busy. But, yeah. That was a really interesting little thing that happened there, you know. Oh, whoops.
Is that better?
Thanks, Miggles.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm sure that's
it should be better. But yeah, we were just talking about why we were on hiatus for a while. Nate had a big test. I think we got worn out by the whole GameStop situation that we were reporting on too. That didn't turn out so beautifully.
No, I'm so disappointed in that, you know.
I know. It feels very shady to me. I mean, we said last time that there was going to be some heroes emerging and some villains. And I think we only got villains, really.
Yeah, why does that always happen?
I know. Like, even David Portnoy and stuff, he seemed like a for sure thing, saying he's going to lose $2 million no matter what. He's going down with the ship. And he didn't. I mean, he lost. I mean, he lost.
It's hard to blame it. Hard to blame him, yeah.
I know. I mean, that's his job and stuff. But at the same time, if you're up there saying this is what you're going to do, right. He almost made it a point. Like, it was a point of pride for him.
He probably just saw the writing on the wall looking like, oh, actually, there's no hope. I'm bailing.
I still think that day where everyone got together and basically let you only sell and not buy, which is obviously going to drive the price down. Then we have stuff like ladder attacks. Then
Killed
we have
the momentum.
Billionaires. Yep.
Completely shady.
I mean, it's basically the SEC and the billionaires and CNBC and Elizabeth Warren versus the little guy. And the little guy lost again. Go figure.
Right. And I think that the hedge funds and stuff did all sorts of illegal stuff with the stock market, you know.
Oh yeah,
but
I think for sure. Again,
nothing's going to come of it, though. Of course.
No, nothing. I mean, Elizabeth Warren already came out, basically said that the problem is the anonymous posters on Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, I know. They're going to. That's what's going to come out of this. They're going to censor Wall Street Bets.
Because the hedge funds haven't done anything different before this, other than the collusion there towards the end with not letting people buy. But I mean, they've been shorting stocks forever, and there's been no issues. They've been doing ladder attacks forever. There's been no issues. She hasn't cared. Elizabeth Warren only cared when the normal person started winning money, and I hope people remember that.
Yeah.
And that letter she wrote basically sicked the SEC on Wall Street Bets, and it was obviously wildly unpopular what she said with her constituents. You could tell there's a lot of more liberal-leaning people that were jealous they missed the takeoff, so it turned into this needs to be stopped. But you see that.
Yeah,
all the
so
time.
weird to hear anyone who's not a billionaire shouldn't have said that. You know,
I know.
Why
Go-
are
go
they
look-
on the side of the billionaires? It's not like a left-right thing with the
they missed the boat. They're poor. It's not their fault.
yeah.
So the government needs to protect people because the people are gonna get hurt. But yeah, her letter was just ridiculous. Talked about how these anonymous. Why do you need to talk about people being anonymous? Why would that matter? Because they're not the ones doing anything wrong. There's anonymous posters and Wall Street bets. So yeah, she was sick in the SEC on the little guy,
Right.
unfortunately.
You know who else did that? Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh God, his was even worse.
Yeah.
Trying Kimmel.
Isn't that just great? To me, it's great evidence that late night hosts like Kimmel and Colbert and whomever, they're essentially shills. I'm sure he got a script
you could
that
probably find
said, you know,
You could find the clip quick. We can
yeah,
play
we
that.
should pull that up. But
You guys aren't gonna recognize him because he's not dressed like blackface Carl Malone. But this is Jimmy Kimmel, believe it or not.
But you know, just like Kimmel he would be against the regular man making money on Wall Street. He wouldn't be unless he was being paid to be,
It's
and
not
was
like
just
it
a
was
shill
joke.
for the.
I mean, it's not like we
hedge
missed
funds.
a joke or anything. It was.
No, yeah, you're right.
If we
It wasn't
can't
funny
find
at all.
this, if we can't find this in 2 seconds, it's probably not even.
I
it's
bet
not
we
right.
can find it though.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You want go put Russia after that. See what comes up.
Yeah, here's some people talking about how ridiculous
Shit.
it was. MAGA buffoons take Washington and Reddit takes Wall Street.
Maybe go down to 1, 2. There it is. See if that one is. That's about the right timeline.
Oh, I gotta pull it up on the stream. One sec.
They won't. But I really hope people will remember this Elizabeth Warren thing.
Right.
They won't.
No, they won't. But I hope they remember the Jimmy Kimmel thing. You shouldn't like this guy. He's a piece of shit. You know.
Like this guy and Trevor Noah, I just don't understand how they have anybody watching them. Both those guys are just.
I've never thought Trevor Noah was funny.
Oh, what is he gonna do now? I mean, he got caught stealing jokes and stuff too, so that's coming out. But what were they thinking hiring him?
Did you see the thing where he got in kind of hot water because of some old stand-up he had about Aborigine women aren't beautiful or something?
No, but
it's some not funny stand-up from him that he used to do, and it is kind of, just dog shit, not very good, and
I'm
he's in
almost
trouble.
always against cancel culture. When it turns on the cancelers, I love it.
Me too. That's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
Okay, let's play this.
I like Jimmy Kimmel. He's a funny guy. But
Stop talking.
6
Just
months,
show it.
their stock price has grown by 8,000% because a bunch of amateur investors, maybe even some Russian disruptors who are part of.
that was not cool.
I mean, you just pause it
he's-
there. That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
There's 2 things there. He said amateur investors. I could guarantee you that people on Wall Street bets have made way more percent off the stock market than he has. I guarantee it.
Right.
Guarantee it.
And he also says amateur investors in a sort of
Condescending way.
Yes.
Everyone's condescending to these guys.
Right,
These guys are
right.
making millions of dollars before GameStop. I mean, you hear people also say like, "Oh, this is a once in a lifetime thing. This isn't happening again." It's been happening for years. It's been happening
Right.
We're in the biggest bull market ever right now, but it's happened the whole time. Wall Street bets didn't just appear one day and do this. It's been there for years.
And why
It's
why
the
would
same-
you be against amateur investors? Were you mad
really.
at them for not working on Wall Street?
Really?
You know?
Do you go to the gym when there's a local pickup basketball game and tell them they're amateurs
Yeah.
they shouldn't be playing?
So-
Or if someone pays to watch them play, they shouldn't be able to get money from it? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then he calls them Russians. And
And maybe some Russian what?
And he didn't pause for a joke, for like applause or for laughter.
Yeah, you're right. That wasn't a joke. He was just saying a shill
piece of shit.
line. Yeah. He was told, "Hey, go lie to people, make them think Russian hackers are messing with the Wall Street." It makes me mad, dude.
Unreal. But that whole amateur investor thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
Go type in on the search for YouTube. Type in Jimmy Kimmel, Carl Malone. See if anything comes up.
It better.
I'm sure it won't, but there. See, look at that. Go down to
Oh, there it is.
like these are out there. And I'm not offended by this.
Sometimes
I know they're going for a joke, but when you're part of cancel culture and you got this out here and
Yeah.
cancel culture ignores it, there's a problem.
Right, I agree. But you know what's a thing about this that is almost more offensive to me? You know, is that he basically portrays Carmelo as super stupid here. You know what I mean? That's where it's like, whoa, this might be super racist. If you're, but it's more how he's having him talk. You know, that's just absolutely. It just makes it even more bizarre, I guess.
I mean, people are just digging into people's past for, like the guy that had his Venmo on NFL that had like send money for beer and had his Venmo and he started giving all that money to a children's hospital. You remember that story? He started giving a ton of money to a children's hospital, like millions of dollars. Like people saw this sign on like maybe it was like college game day or something. But they saw the sign and so they thought, oh, that's funny. I'll send him money. And people started doing it, started taking off. So instead of keeping the money, he's like, hey, everyone, I'm going to send it to, I can't remember what hospital.
What a hero. What an absolute hero this guy is.
And then there was some piece of shit rag from like Des Moines, Iowa, where they dug into his past and they found a joke tweet from a long time ago that they thought was racist. And they got him canceled. The guy was only doing good and getting money and giving it to the hospital. And like Budweiser, someone came out and said, we will match the donations. So for every dollar that people sent this guy, they were going to match it. But when this came out, they basically said, hey, we're walking away from this. Cowards, by the way.
Yeah.
So they decided to walk away with it. And the newspaper got hounded. That's the good news. And then people went and found that the writer that wrote the story on this, and when they got to digging, they went and found racist stuff in his past and got him fired.
I love that. See, I love that. That is exactly what you were saying before about college kids.
I love it. I couldn't do more. I used to subscribe to their Facebook page and just lambast them all the time. Like their main editor came out and tried to act like they weren't doing damage, but they caused millions of dollars to not go to these children's hospitals just because they wanted to dig into this guy's past. Some random guy that did only good, that's not a celebrity.
Unreal.
And they had to go and cancel him. But then we got this asshole dressed up as a black guy who's actually racist, like you said, making this black guy seem really dumb.
Yeah.
When this guy's done more in his life than Kimmel ever has.
Right. And then every week I have to listen to Kimmel moralize about these exact issues.
Yes.
You know, whatever. Yeah,
he's one of the worst alive. Yes.
Yeah, he'll moralize about Wall Street bets maybe being,
Russian.
somehow bad. It's like, wow. Let's watch a little more of this.
It doesn't stop. We've said this numerous times. We're absolutely for gay marriage. It should just be called marriage. And in fact, government should just not be involved with marriage. It's a dumb place for government to be involved in anyway. But a lot of the real crazy conservatives were saying, yeah, but what's next? Are people going to marry their toasters? And is pedophilia going to be normal? Well, people aren't marrying their toasters, but there are a group of people trying to make pedophilia more normalized. And we have
like Netflix.
And we have trans and drag queens trying to read stories to kids and just weird stuff going on.
Yeah. Dude, a story just came out about that. Go ahead.
Oh, really? But where does this stop? And then, of course, we saw where Washington Redskins had to change their name, and now I think Cleveland Indians. And now we're hearing, of course, the Chiefs. So lots of that was racist. But now they're trying to say that the Buccaneers, Buccaneers shouldn't be okay. That name shouldn't be okay.
Oh, because they're pirates?
Yeah, because they're pirates, I guess.
When you showed,
I don't even know who that's supposed to offend.
The pirate community.
I don't know.
Dude, when you showed me that, I thought it was a joke at first. And then I took a second. I realized, it's probably not a joke. We live in the dumbest world ever, and it's not. They're legit offended at the use of the word Buccaneers because of pirates. We talked about it.
Like Alex Jones was how they started censoring. They deplatformed him and cut off payments, and then it went to Q, and then very quickly it went to conservatives, and now it's already going to more centrist people. It's already happening. I mean, even look at this GameStop thing. They were censored. People were leaving bad reviews for Robinhood. Because Robinhood is a shit app that restricted buying, and so people were leaving bad reviews, and Google and Apple were deleting the bad reviews and sticking up for them.
Yeah.
So even non-political centrist posts now. And that happened really fast. I mean,
But
we're kind of seeing that whole parabolic curve where it's doing this, where it's just more and more stuff. And it's all in the name of safety. It's all in the name of protecting people
yeah, it's
because they're
gonna-
not smart enough.
right, it's gonna be really bad, dude. And you know, it's like, okay, we can't have Buccaneers. Honestly, we're just gonna have football team 1, football team 2. But then that would be offensive. So then we'll just go, no numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, you know, we haven't talked about the Super Bowl yet. And we're obviously gonna. But even so, Brady now is under the limelight. And the stuff they're accusing him of being a racist for is hilarious. Now, so, you know, they call it the GOAT, the greatest of all time. That's an acronym for greatest of all time, GOAT. Now, that's racist because it was a black person that came up with the acronym. So now even that's racist, supposedly.
What's racist? Goat?
GOAT. Saying GOAT. Yep. That's racist.
Saying goat is racist for
That's
greatest
racist.
of all time?
Yep. That's racist now because a black person came up with that acronym.
So what? If a black person came up with it,
I don't
what?
know.
Only black people can say goat?
I guess. I don't know where it stops.
I don't either.
We got to draw, not we, because we already have, but the general population has got to draw a hard line in the sand somewhere. And unfortunately, it's going to have to come from the liberals because most conservatives are already there.
Well, the liberals have to understand that free speech.
It's going to hurt them. It's going to come for them. And already starting to, just because it's never going to be enough. You're never going to be woke enough. And the liberals, the more moderate, down-to-earth liberals have got to see this now. You can't be woke enough. They're going to come for you eventually. And if not, your party is not going to be in power forever. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The last 4 presidents, when they've came into power, they've had like the Senate and the Congress. And by the time they left, they've had neither. I think it's the last 4 presidents.
That's really weird.
That just shows you that every time it's going to flip-flop. And it's not going to change. It's not going to be different. It's going to happen again. I guarantee it.
I hope so.
I absolutely guarantee it.
But dude, you know, it's such an intolerant hate machine.
Yep.
Screaming for tolerance being the most intolerant thing ever.
See Tom Brady get lambasted because he won a Super Bowl against a mixed quarterback on Black History Month. And people trying to lambast him for that. You start getting people switching over.
I hope so.
That's gonna cause the
because we're so far crazy. We're so far into crazy town. We need to head back, please.
There's people literally saying that. It makes them uncomfortable. Well, guess what? The Super Bowl lands on Black History Month every year. So what are they gonna do?
What?
You can't win the Super Bowl because you're white? Is that what you do now?
See, that would be actual racism. You know?
Yes.
They need to wake up. Okay, so speaking of all this, comes up with a great video I watched earlier. It's only 2 minutes long, but I think it's really great. And it's from Oxford, like an Oxford. I don't know exactly what the place is called in England, but it's like a really well-known scholarly place. And
it is the dawning of an age where we need to repent.
This lady spoke at it, and she did such a great job. Sorry, Garrett, I pulled up the 13-minute one instead of the 2-minute one accidentally.
No problem.
I gotta find it now.
So these videos you're pulling up are kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm, and you know, kind of going to the free speech thing. Europe doesn't really have free speech. And there's people that act like that's good. And they act like it won't be abused. Which I don't know how. You know, liberals were supposed to be the party of kind of the rebellion party, the fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. But now they're literally putting it in the government's hand to decide what powers they should have. In all across Europe, free speech, there isn't free speech. They thought, yeah, but people aren't gonna abuse it. That's not like who puts that much trust in government? That's crazy to me. But we are seeing it being abused. We're seeing there was a comedian in Canada that got fined by some tribunal because he made a joke that they thought was ableist. And there was the YouTuber that had his dog supposedly do a Nazi salute. I think they threw him in jail.
Jeez, dude.
There was a police station, and I think it was like a British area that posted basically like, hey, look what we got off the streets. We arrested some guys. It was some guys with like weed. So they had marijuana on the table and people were making fun of them. And they literally posted like, if you live in Britain, these posts are illegal if you're mocking us and we will come and get you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to hell. We've got to fight
These
for
are the
freedom of
same
speech,
people
man.
that are okay with censorship. It's the same people.
You know,
that are
it's
okay with that
because
once it
they're
happens.
it's because they're just tyrants, dude. I really think that. Okay, this lady makes a great point. Here's the video, dude.
Right to live their lives.
Here we go.
Nobody has the right to live their lives being protected from offence or from insult or
Hey,
from
is this the
hurt
lady that
feelings.
sings tea for two, two for tea?
Maybe.
This is that voice.
Yeah, I know. She has like the quintessential
British,
old lady
old
British.
British.
It's like she
She
almost
loves
whistles
her
at the end.
High tea and crumpets.
Yes, dude. She
She
has
makes
a
up the
perfect
English
voice
breakfast
for
tea
that.
every morning.
Yeah.
It is an occupational hazard of living in society. And if you really can't take it, become a hermit. But more seriously, on the opposite end from the snowflakes, poor little darlings, on the opposite end from them are the totalitarians. Now, I would love to stand in this union and oppose and argue with and take to pieces a Holocaust denier. But if we say no, we can never have the Holocaust denier because his views are so offensive that he cannot be accorded a platform. Then what happens? That sort of viewpoint is driven underground where it can quite often flourish. And people whisper behind their hands, oh, you know, there's something in what he says, but we're not allowed to hear it. Let's hear it. And by hearing it, we can destroy it.
Sunlight is the best
also
disinfectant.
remember,
Yeah, of course. Bring it to the free market of ideas, and the truth will come out. But if you censor the truth and you're afraid to hear anyone's opinion, then just like she says, bad ideas can flourish.
I have so little faith in the government that if the government tells me that some ideas are off limits, it's just going to make me put more value in those ideas.
Me too, and my life experience shows me that that's a wise thing to think.
And we're seeing it with the fact checkers. The fact checkers, if they're trying to hide something and they're bending over backwards and twisting themselves in pretzels to say misleading or mostly false on a little straw man technicality they built, it shows me like, okay, this is obviously true.
The fact
It's been
checkers are
happening over and over.
The fact checkers are batting 0%. They are just liars. I mean, they're wrong about everything.
Yep.
So you're making a great point, and it's definitely true that
Do you know what they'll do? They'll say like
whatever you're trying to censor,
make a
I'm
statement.
interested in.
We'll make a statement saying like big tech is censoring conservatives, and it will go viral or something. And they'll say, well, they're making the argument that big tech is censoring conservatives and even giving people the death penalty. And they'll say false. And they'll say the death penalty hasn't been given out. But it is true that and they go on and on and on. They add something into the argument. They add something to it that they know is false. So they could call that one false. It's so easy to twist a little narrative and call it false.
Right.
Like Robert Byrd, he was big into the KKK, and there's pictures of him going around with Biden. And it's just a picture basically saying, this is Robert Byrd, KKK. This is Joe Biden. And they got misleading and false on it all the time. If you post on Facebook, a big thing comes up, won't even let you see it unless you click show me the picture. And then their info is, well, this is out of context because at this point, Robert Byrd was blah, blah, blah. And President Obama
said he was cool.
So it's basically saying, it's okay, Robert Byrd has a black friend.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, dude. It's funny, except that it actually seems so bad and like terrible for the future. And it seems like it might continue this way with horrible censorship. Let's let this lady finish 40 more seconds.
it is absolutely right that we should allow people, no matter how profoundly we disagree with them. I hate to utter cliches in this august debating hall, but I am going to utter one. That no matter how much we may disagree with somebody, we should defend to the hilt their right to say it. And
How
that
can
is
someone disagree
something
with this?
that I have.
Because they're way on the left and they're completely blind and
Well,
stupid.
because the Russians are going to steal the election and cause GameStop to go up. And that was a losing point when the
Elections
media
are
ran with the Russians. That was basically made up by Hillary, and they told the FBI used the media reporting that as an excuse to go and basically investigate it. But they found that it's basically all false anyway. But that was the beginning and the end of free speech. They used that. They act like look what it did. Look at all the damage it caused.
Oh, yeah.
It caused an election. Now we have an illegitimate president. But
Yeah.
now that Trump loses, now you can't even question it. Even though we've been questioning for 4 years, saying how Trump's illegitimate, if you question the election results, you're kicked off YouTube. Ask us how we know.
Yeah, ask us how we know. Yeah, dude, it's scary how much the left has no censorship on them. You know what I mean? At right now, it's gonna boomerang, I think.
If you're on the left and you're being ignorant to this, you should be ashamed because this is a big issue and it's gonna bite you in the ass. And it's just common sense.
Right.
That free speech needs to be protected.
And I want to make it clear that it is the left that is doing the censoring.
Yep.
I'd love to hear an example of if the right is censoring people or stopping free speech. But it's the left.
80s,
They're advocating for it. They're supporting it. They want it to continue. And
in the
that's
80s and
despicable.
90s, it was more Republican, even though they didn't use nearly this much power. When it came to, like, who was it? Was it like one of the first ladies was against rap music because of the bad language, and she would go on to talk
and
shows.
how wrong was that, idiot?
And she was very wrong.
Yeah.
And that is not even close to what's happening now that liberals are clapping about.
They're censoring
Speaking of
ideas.
rap
They're
music,
censoring
though,
things.
it is kind of funny how they're acting like you can't listen to Baby It's Cold Outside because that's offensive. But listen to 90% of rap music. How do they treat women?
What is their... Oh, it's bad to women? Is that what they say about Baby It's Cold Outside?
Yeah, because it's a guy trying to convince a girl to stay, and it's a husband and wife duo. It's just a ridiculous thing. Look, there's radio stations that won't play it right now.
Oh, man.
Not radio stations, most radio stations. Yeah, it's considered...
So this lady,
Whatever.
she makes the point that snowflakes and totalitarians are the same side of a coin, different sides of the same coin. And it's really true. A snowflake is just a totalitarian without the power. So they just play a victim.
They
say,
run to that.
You can't say anything because I'll be offended. A totalitarian says you can't say anything because I say so. And they're both the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's really bizarre that this is happening right now. And anyone on the left ought to be ashamed of themselves if they support censorship.
Yep. So this looks like it's set up as a debate. Is it a debate? Or
Yeah,
is it
it's a debate
okay.
of some kind. It's some kind of debate.
Man, I can't understand what the other side would be on this.
Oh, you don't even want to see it, man. I watched one dude, and it's just embarrassing.
I wonder if he knows, but he's doing it for woke points or something.
He doesn't know.
He
He was young. He was like early 20s. And he's just a moron who thinks that it's dangerous to let opinions that he doesn't agree with be espoused. That's what it boils down to in the end of his argument. I don't particularly like your opinion, so therefore you shouldn't be able to say it somewhere because other people might believe you.
Hopefully,
it's like maybe
in
I'm
a year
telling
or
the
two,
truth.
he wakes up every night or can't go to sleep because he's embarrassed and ashamed for having that opinion and espousing it on TV.
That would be great. Yeah. Yep. Or hopefully,
there's any justice.
Hopefully 5 years from now, he's censored and he can't speak anywhere. And then he has to think to himself, maybe I'm the problem.
Yes, that'd be great.
But yeah, I mean, we could look it up. But
speaking of rap music and censorship, open up. I think it's the last one you got there. Go way to the right. No. There we go. Fake woke. Play a little bit of this. This is pretty good.
Okay.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so.
How much do you think the left hates
facts?
What's that?
How much do you think the left hates this song?
Oh, I'm sure they
this,
they hate it.
This is a legit rapper.
I'm a fan.
This is a guy that made a song pandering to the right and decided I'm going to get famous this way. I mean, he's a legit rapper. That he's Canadian, I think, too. Yeah.
Well, I'm a fan. This is the first time I've ever heard him, but
yeah.
I think he's making great points.
I've seen little clips, but yeah.
You know, damn. You know, it's unreal, the hypocrisy from the left. I can't take it.
God, speaking of Eminem, this is off topic, but it's just cringy. Have you seen the Eminem and Dana White thing going around?
No.
God, go and type it into YouTube quick.
What is that?
We're taking a little bit of an off-road here, but whatever.
Eminem, Dana White?
Yeah. Just go play that one.
All right.
If we learned anything from watching 8 Mile, is that when it comes to battle
So
rap, don't come for Eminem.
This was trending on
he will be
Twitter.
the first
People
to
are talking about this. Like, this is a big deal right here.
When was this? Last week.
Yeah, so recent.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Tell you that he treats the rap game the same way the world's best athletes treat their respective sport, with a 24/7 tenacity that only the elite are able to channel. He spent his entire life studying and training to be the best, but even with a life of preparation, will it be enough for his next battle? It's one thing to conquer your competition. It's another to conquer your demons. With us now to share his thoughts is Dana White, who knows a thing or two about marquee battles. Dana, thanks for being with us. How prepared can one be when going up against an opponent of this magnitude?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Listen, I'm a huge Eminem fan, but this is a tough one. This opponent is not someone you can prepare for. It's a tricky demon to conquer, even for someone as badass as Eminem.
You even know what the hell
My
I'm talking
prediction is disappointment for
You obviously do. I have no idea.
Fans all over the world.
That's interesting. We are now joined by the man himself, Eminem. Em, appreciate it. What's your response to what Dana just said?
I want to say, first of all, thank you for having me on. I think that people like you give people like me the fuel that they need to succeed in the first place. So I think that the best part about your opinion is that it doesn't matter. And if every fighter that you had listened to your opinion when you doubted them, you wouldn't have a league. So you're an asshole, and I'm out.
Well, he definitely sounds ready. In any case, it should be a battle for the ages. Thank you, Dana, and best of luck to you, Eminem.
What did I just watch?
So that is going viral. People are like, look, just gave it to Dana. That's obviously fucking fake.
Yeah.
It's like a premiere to like a music video that they use for like the Conor McGregor fight or something like that. And just, like, people are acting like he stood up to Dana. Like, look at what he did there. It was trending on Twitter for a long time. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense because there can't be any context. I mean, they're acting like he's getting ready for a fight against an opponent.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was just some kind of joke, but
yeah, but that was trending on Twitter for a long time.
And people were saying, "Oh, Eminem punked out Dana.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, Dana's a conservative guy, and he got a lot of hate for bringing the UFC back during a pandemic. Oh, he's putting money before lives. Of course, nobody's died, nobody's gotten hurt, nobody's gotten sick, really, even from the UFC going. But they kind of were the leaders in getting sports back during all of this. The UFC was.
You know, the sports during the pandemic thing. Obviously, I'm for opening everything, opening all sports. I think it's ridiculous. Anything's closed. But if this is a horrible, deadly pandemic, why do we have football? Why do we have the NBA? It doesn't make. What the hell are we doing?
Speaking of Reddit, I'm just beating up Reddit today because 99% of Reddit is just idiot losers and terrible people. But there's a subreddit for NFL. So fans of NFL go onto this Reddit, they talk and they upvote the posts they like, and they downvote the ones they don't. And they hated that the NFL was going to have a season. Hated it. Talked about how they're going to be super spreaders and how it's going to be the end of this and making it worse.
Well, at least they're a little consistent. That's better than most of these idiots out there.
But it's kind of funny because soon after, when players, once they found out that it was going, when they acted like there's a game or two that got delayed, and they acted like, see, told you. And the season went off without a hitch. I mean, let's say 95%, you got to grade them.
Yeah.
They had like 2 games that they had to change around the buys for games, whatever. But it quickly began that players would test positive and nobody was scared for their safety. They were thinking, oh man, when's the game? Could they clear in time? Are they going to be able to clear in time to play? They were never worried like, oh gosh, this guy's sick. Is he going to give it to his wife? Are they going to die? They didn't give a shit.
No, they thought, can he play on Friday? He'd probably be fine, right? Yeah, of course.
No. And a lot of the NFL, a lot of those guys have BMIs in probably the dangerous category if this really was that dangerous. Not single time was anyone worried about the players because they knew there was nothing going to come out of this.
Yeah, and all the players were fine. Spoiler alert, this isn't a deadly pandemic. It's not terrible.
It just so happened the Super Bowl's in Florida this year. In Florida, and doing a good job of handling the pandemic. I mean, that's a place where people from all over the country fly to. They're really lax on their mask mandates.
I'm thinking about moving there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not kidding.
It's funny. Liberals are like acting like Florida is destroying the United States when in fact Florida's doing better than California and doing better than New York and doing better than all these liberal places that have terrible draconian laws that are killing small businesses and killing humanity.
Right.
And they're ignoring it and they're doing better than those guys.
Right. Which they hate to hear that.
Yeah, they hate to hear it. They have excuses, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. But the thing with, like, the sports, everybody's okay with these sports going on. It's just like, look, we all know this is a stupid joke. Even the huge proponents of it secretly know how dumb it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the NBA, Come on, what are we doing? We wouldn't walk into a restaurant with a mask on and then take it off and sit down. Or sit down and take it off. It's unreal, dude.
Yeah.
It's mass hysteria. I honestly I think it's mass hysteria.
I meant to bring some videos of the show, but we've been off for a while, so we have so much to cover. But there's some places now that are making people swim with masks on. Yeah. I'm sure there's zero science that shows that helps anything. In fact, I'm sure it's very unhealthy. There's some pictures that really piss me off where people are putting masks on newborns and stuff.
I know.
Your social credit points are worth more than your newborn's life at that point.
Yeah.
Sure, your newborn probably lived, but you lucked out because it wasn't a guarantee. I mean, SIDS, that's basically what SIDS is. That's going to cause a lot more newborn deaths if you're doing that pandering bullshit. Really, CPS should just take those kids away at that point.
If they put a mask on them?
Yes. Yes.
Well, so I wanted to show you this, Garrett. It's something, it's sort of the same thing as like, if we're serious and this is a horrible pandemic, then we shouldn't allow the NBA,
Yep.
In the same kind of vein, look, if this is a horrible pandemic, we shouldn't wear masks. We should wear hazmat suits. Every fucking person leaving their house, because what are they doing?
Yeah.
Masks don't do anything.
Go buy a hazmat suit.
Buy a hazmat suit. Aren't you scared? Don't you want to save the world?
If you're saying that it's okay for small businesses to lose millions of dollars because it's money over lives, then go get a goddamn hazmat suit then.
Absolutely, of course.
If you can't afford it, save up.
Yep.
Because a lot of small businesses can't afford this either.
Yep. So, see this?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I bought this today.
You did not.
I'm going to start wearing this when I have to go to the grocery store because, but I want to make it clear that I think the masks are, I'm going to make a big sign that says masks are ridiculous.
You need to go up to anyone wearing 3 masks and you got to tell them that they're harming people.
They're murderers.
They're killing your grandma.
I might do that. You know, I'm going to go, I can't believe you people make me sick, you murderers. Really. And so I bought one of these, but
or if someone's wearing a mask up t-shirt, you've got to go and shame them.
See, I don't want...
And you got to film it. You got to film it for the show. Because they film it for their social points.
Look, I want somehow it to be clear that I am mocking the masks, okay?
I think it's pretty clear.
I think it will be. But
well, there's plenty of shirts you could get.
Oh,
there's plenty of shirts that are basically anti-mask.
So I got these. I got these big gloves also. I'm dead serious. Because I went to the grocery store yesterday and I put on my bandana and I just hate it so much, dude. It is really hard for me to do it. You know, I'm mostly not wearing a mask even when I go to restaurants and shit. I've had to argue with them a couple times lately because they're getting more bring it up to me that I'm not wearing a mask, you know? And it's not really been an argument, you know? I'm very good at just kind of saying, look, you know, I am not going to wear a mask. If you want me to leave, I will. I'm happy to leave.
One thing that Biden said that I guess I could say I kind of like, even though I don't believe him at all, he basically said, give me 100 days. Just give me 100 days that you wear a mask. If it really was, if I could trust a thing that guy says, if this is over within 100 days, at least there's an end point. Because there's not an end point to any of this otherwise.
Dude, if there was an end point, if there was like a solid end point like that, maybe even I would agree to it. I hesitate to because I think it's a little bit dangerous. It's almost like, hey, of course it would be forever. But even I think it's almost like, look, stay in your house for 6 months. That seems so dangerous to me to agree to, even if I believed them, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, we can't give up our right like that, even if they're not lying.
But people should, just under 100 days, refuse to wear a mask ever again. You say, well, Biden said 100 days.
Yeah. See, I like that. That's what I would almost sign for that.
Yep. And he has science behind him, so you're unscientific then.
But the problem is they would immediately go, well, that was for COVID. Now it's for this new one. So you got to do
I just kind of thought they were ignorant. I thought they did the whole 2 weeks of flatten the curve, and they liked the power, and then it turned into an anti-Trump thing. But there's some kind of papers coming out proving that back then they knew that they were going to keep all of the lockdowns, but they knew that if they would say, hey, we're going to lock down basically for a year, people would say no. So they knew. So they lied.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that makes sense to me.
I thought it was ignorance, but it looks like it's more evil.
Sure.
Really.
Yeah, that's probably how it goes. Here are the gloves I bought.
You just got to start filming yourself doing this, and you've got to shame the really over the top people.
I like that idea. 2 masks. You might as well stab my grandmother yourself. You know,
how dare you put money above lives?
You know, the only thing is I worry. I only worry a little bit that it will look like I'm actually afraid of COVID. I want it to be clear that I'm not. So. You know what I mean? What?
So maybe even the mask people will go home and laugh about it. Even the maskers will.
Well,
God, I saw this guy in a welding hood.
Yeah. People are really crazy. Good thing we have these masks, though. Anyway, I can't exactly figure out what I'm doing with this. That's why I'm bringing it up to you, Garrett. You know, what is my great plan here? I hate the masks, so now I'm going to wear a hazmat suit type thing.
I like your thinking. I think it'll make good show.
There's something to it that's smart. It's like, I don't know, at least my fake bullshit isn't completely worthless. Although this thing I bought is. But like a hazmat suit wouldn't be. You know what I mean? A hazmat suit would actually stop a virus. Why aren't you people wearing one? Because you secretly know it doesn't hurt you anyway.
Yeah, it's just a good way to get social credit points right now.
Yeah.
And if you have
to destroy America and to destroy all businesses and to like ruin the lives of these kids for a few years.
If you have a profile picture on social media of you in a mask, and the whole point of that picture is so people can identify you. If you have a mask in your social profile picture, you should jump off a cliff. Just end it. There's no hope.
I like it.
I'm seeing more and more of that. It's a selfie with a mask on.
Yep. Man, everyone's so stupid, dude.
Yep.
Really, it's just terrible.
Well, back to investing news, I guess.
Okay.
So Tesla, the car company, they put $1.5 billion into Bitcoin.
Yep.
Recently.
How amazing is that?
It's kind of crazy that, a car company, it's not like they're an investing firm. They're not a hedge fund. It's just kind of crazy that they're putting that on it. Like, it's almost like a company is buying stock almost.
Well, it's even a little bit weirder because they're just buying Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So it's just that Tesla now owns.
They're going to start accepting Bitcoin
or something.
$1.5 billion. That's a lot.
How many
Bitcoins?
Bitcoins
A market cap of a lot of companies. And since they did that, I'm sure they were buying since it was 30,000 or more. That 1.5 is probably 2 billion.
Yeah, no kidding. It's because after they announced that, it went way up. I pulled up the.
Oh yeah.
See that?
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
So it jumped 10K since yesterday.
I can see this. The first bubble we saw when it hit 20,000, that seemed to be FOMO from like college students and young adults. Then they went and told their investor uncles, and people started jumping on then with a few $1,000s or whatever. I'm kind of wondering if this is going to create FOMO with corporations now. And their stock is going to,
probably,
whatever their earnings are going to look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll bet you're right. This probably isn't the first
company
company
$1.5 billion and it goes up 30%. That's a lot of earnings right there just from that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's weird to me. Like, it would be different if it was Elon just like saying, hey, I'm a billionaire and I'm buying Bitcoin because I think it's great. But it's an actual company doing it, which is even weirder.
Yeah.
But we've seen him pumping Dogecoin.
Right.
I think that's such a stupid idea.
It's so weird to me that he's doing that. But I think Miggles is right here that it's even like Bitcoin to me, everything about Bitcoin looks like it might just go up to $500 million each. And the value of the dollar plummeting is something that I think will probably happen based on our horrible economy.
For people that are worried that they think they've missed their opportunity, I don't think so yet. Even with this.
Oh, that's
here's why. So our stock market's in a bubble. I think you'd have a hard time finding people that didn't agree with that. The biggest bubble in the stock market is probably Tesla. Tesla's basically priced at every single person driving a Tesla. And it's not going to happen like that.
Right. So
and I'm the biggest Tesla fanboy there is. I mean, Tesla's the best car. It's game changer. Tesla cars, the normal car, is a brand new iPhone compared to a flip phone in the 90s. I mean, it's that big of a difference. Once you drive it, you think, I'll never drive a gas car ever again. It's terrible.
Cool.
Yeah, it's that much better. So I'm a huge Tesla fanboy. But even Elon himself, 5 months ago, when it was sitting at $700 pre-split $700, said that he thinks the price is too high. Since then, it's split 5-1. It went up an extra few $100s. So really, it's sitting at 7 times that price when Elon said it was too high.
Yikes.
So all right, Tesla's in a bubble. The market's in the bubble. I think this could create FOMO for different companies that start buying in. What happens when Tesla has a little bit of a down sales month? So earnings is next week, and they're thinking, holy shit, we got to make this look better for earnings. Because they're accused of doing this all the time, cooking their books and moving stuff around to make their earnings look better. What happens then when they start selling? If somebody would go and sell $1.5 billion of Bitcoin right now, it would really, really, really hurt the value of that. That's a lot of money. When you hear something bad happen to a company and people say, geez, there's $100 billion of the market cap wiped out.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean people went and sold $100 billion. That means that the stock, Bitcoin, the supply of Bitcoin times the last price Bitcoin sold for. That's how you get the market cap of Bitcoin. So someone would go and sell $1.5 billion. It's going to bring that down drastically, but it's going to make Tesla's numbers look really good because they're going to be up 20, 30, 40, 50%. I mean, think if it goes up 100%. They could have an extra $1.5 billion in profit in one quarter. What is that going to do when these other companies jump on with FOMO? They're going to say, oh my God. And they're going to get out too. They're going to be rushed to get out. I think we might see this pop again. I think we might go sub 10,000 eventually.
Of Bitcoin.
Yep. Just because this is inflating an already inflated bubble is what I'm thinking. And I think that, so a lot of these companies, it's kind of insane. We talked about this too. When the pandemic first was announced, stocks plummeted. And I started buying, so thinking, oh, we're going to get over this. I thought we'd be done with it by now. But then something weird happened where stocks started skyrocketing. And Bitcoin it used to be a safe haven from the stock market. Stocks go down, Bitcoin, gold, silver goes up. It used to be kind of a safe haven. It's a weird thing started happening where Bitcoin started following the stock market.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when the stock market starts plummeting? Bitcoin went after COVID was basically, hey, the COVID's here. Bitcoin fell to $3,500. That was what, 8 months ago, 9 months ago?
Yeah, not that long ago.
So there's just not as much there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Let's see. Right in here, which was in March 2020, it was 5,000.
These don't show the candles unless they close, basically trader terms, or it just kind of makes this look a little bit more stable than it is. I think they hit 3,500, kind of bounced off that. In the defense of people making an argument for Bitcoin, it flew when it hit it. It bounced off it like a damn trampoline.
Yeah.
But it's still, it fell that fast, and now it's up here again.
I wouldn't be surprised if it plummeted, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it just went straight up to 200,000.
That's what people thought at the 20,000. It's kind of everyone at 20,000 was saying if this would go back down to under 10, I would take a second mortgage on my house. And it didn't go back down to 10. It went down to 3 for years. And then people did the opposite. Instead of buying more, they were selling and going, I don't believe in Bitcoin anymore. Don't worry, guys. Bitcoin's been the exact same dinosaur at 3,000 than it is at 46,000 or 20, whatever it was.
But you know what I think?
Kind of a weird mentality people have.
You know what I think might make it actually plummet for real, and it might happen, is when the government challenges Bitcoin.
That's what popped it the first time. It was a rumor. It wasn't even true. A rumor that Korea banned Bitcoin, and that was it.
Yeah.
Korea, not Europe, not the U.S.
Right, but I think the U.S. I think the U.S. might. Because what's the U.S. going to do? Allow this currency to exist that is way more valuable than the dollar?
Liberals in charge. They're going to protect people.
Yeah, they got to protect us all.
They're going to think that they got to protect everybody. Janet Yellen already came out and said, this is used for pedophilia and drugs.
She said that?
Save the kids. Yeah.
So her friends are using it?
Yeah.
So she's going to be chair of the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah.
See, she's going to be chair of it. And she already hates Bitcoin and is talking about regulating it. Shit, they're probably going to come for it in the next 4 years.
So if you look at Bitcoin, there's a chart that basically, for something with really no backing like this, really, there's a chart where you have the different stages, and it follows it over and over and over, except it doesn't reset as low every time. But we're in the euphoria stage right now. Tesla just bought in, some other people. We're in the euphoria stage for sure. How high is it going to get in the euphoria? I think probably right around here. But even if
I think it's going to top 50,
70 and 80, we're still in that euphoria stage. And it's still, since its inception, has had these same cycles over and over and over. It's going to happen again.
Where it goes way up and way down.
Yep.
And then,
yep,
but trending way up. You know. 47 is the highest it's ever been by a lot.
Yeah. Every time it does that, every time it gets to the euphoria stage, it beats its previous high by a lot.
Right. And I'm just making the point that look how valuable it is.
Yep. This might be a particular painful one.
And dude, when the government comes for it, when Janet Yellen comes for it here, I think that Bitcoin has a chance to survive that because that's sort of the thing where the government can't regulate it. It kind of can't get it. And if it does
survive, it always has.
But if it does, and if it does it really well, where it's like they just can't mess with us, so nice try, then I think it will really go up.
Here's the problem with Bitcoin. And it's a sad truth of it, is it's a kind of a giant Ponzi scheme. I mean, people are buying Bitcoin not to use it because it's not really practical. It's not even crypto anymore.
I wish it was practical.
Yeah, and it's not cryptic anymore. People are buying it now as an investment to make money. Well, it's not a company like
right. I know it's such a
company that has
weird
dividends.
Thing. Yeah.
So there's not going to be given dividends. They're only doing this to make money. They're only going to hold it until they either need that money or they think that we're at the top. Once this pops, it's going to pop big, and kind of rightfully so. Let's say you bought at. That's what happens. There's a lot of people that start buying at the 46, the 47. They're the ones that don't sell because they're kind of desperate, unless they get out at like 40 and think, oh, I only lost $6,000.
Right.
But what the people that are going to be selling are the people that bought at 17 and 18, and they're going to sell at 30 and go, whew, at least I made 12 grand. Yes. And another thing that could prop up this price, we've talked a little bit about like GameStop, the ladder attacks. You could buy 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin, basically. And the last transaction that happens is the one that's used to figure out the price of Bitcoin. So people could never have paid $46,000 for a full Bitcoin, which they have, I'm sure. But it could be, in theory, nobody's ever paid $46,000 for a Bitcoin, but it's still worth that because of the last transaction. Somebody bought $3 worth of 0.0000000 whatever of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And the math on that would show 46,000, and then you times it by the millions of Bitcoin that are out there. It's like, Jesus, Bitcoin's got a $700 million market cap, $700 billion market cap. I don't think that's what's happening, but that would be a way to prop this up too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I'm a huge fan of crypto. I think crypto is going to be very big.
It's
in the future.
better than fiat currency.
Yeah.
So, and if it can be where the government can't mess with it and steal it and inflate it and deflate it, then it's way better, and I want it.
Huge fan.
Yeah.
I would just caution people buying at this level. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But also, I wish I had bought every time possible. You know.
Yeah, I sold a few Bitcoin at $8,000. I wish I could have those back, of course.
Yeah.
I had a friend that got scammed about 5 Bitcoin. I bet he really wants those back right now.
He got scammed?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He fell for a phishing email or something? I can't
even tell you. So, sorry, Vic. So there was a supposed AI robot that was going to, I think it was like arbitrage trade or something. It was some ridiculous thing. Looking back, it was some robot was going to turn his 5 Bitcoin into 10 for him. And they basically took his Bitcoin and said, thank you. And then later, he's also a gambler. Later, he sent me a screenshot saying, hey, look what this guy's saying. And I looked at who it came from, and I circled the name. It was the exact same people that scanned of Bitcoin. He was still using their screenshots for a gambling thing.
You got to give me that guy's email in case I ever need some free money.
And you always see Elon back in the day would post something, and then a fake Elon Twitter account with the exact same face would be like, hey, to celebrate the release of the Model 3, send a 0.1 Bitcoin to here, and I'll send you 3 Bitcoin back.
Oh, yeah, that still goes on all the time, and I think those scams work every time.
He screenshotted that, sent it to me, going, look at this, guys.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, please tell me you didn't do that. Please tell me.
Yep. They go, Elon Musk giving away Bitcoin.
It does work.
He just wants me to send him a little first.
And you know what I'm a little bit worried about this bubble? Is him doing this at Dogecoin. Doge was a joke crypto that has it's basically everything that can be wrong with crypto.
Yeah.
Is Dogecoin.
I know. I don't like that
I hate that he's doing this.
Me too.
So if people don't know, this was that weird, ugly dog that was big on the internet for whatever reason way back when. They put that face on a coin and called it Doge and turned it into a meme. And it was never meant to hold value. It was all a joke. It has no uses. There's an infinite amount of these. In every second, there's like a million released. And just because Elon tweeted this out, it's jumped to 8 cents. And like a week ago, let's say 2 weeks ago, it wasn't even worth a penny.
Right. The only reason I want it to go way up is because we got a buddy who has quite a bit of it. So that would be great. You know, I'm rooting for Dogecoin, but
they did the same thing to Ripple. They just say, geez, look how big Doge is getting. They don't understand that you have to look at how many of them are released. They look at this and go, Bitcoin's 46,000. What if this goes to $100? Maybe buying it $100. Yes, but that would be $100 times however many multi-billions are released. That's more money than exists in the entire world.
Yeah.
You'll try to explain it to them and say, yeah, but what if it does though? It's only $100 or even $10. You're thinking there's not going to be worth $1 trillion. There's like 2 companies in the world that's worth that, but they don't see it just because they look at just the money amount and go, that's not worth that. That's not much money.
Yeah.
But the supply is where this matters. I mean, if you have $1 trillion of something, which this has infinite amounts, so eventually it's going to hit $1 trillion. If you have $1 trillion and it's worth $1, that means the market cap is $1 trillion.
Right. Yeah.
Where Bitcoin's market cap's not even that right now. You know?
Yeah, it's really funny, dude.
It's really weird how the psychology of that's a shorter amount, like the pennies, and they don't understand that they're not getting in early. The market, what is it, $10 billion?
That's why
that's worth more than GameStop. Dogecoin's worth more than GameStop right now.
That's why I'm pretty sure for like a day, whoever owned Ripple, created Ripple, he was the richest man in the world by quite a bit. Do you remember that? Because it got up to like $3 each, and there's like
$4.
$1 trillion of them, and he has half of them or something.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, this guy's a trillionaire, first ever trillionaire or something." And you know,
yeah,
it had to be a weird day for that guy.
Right. And Doge is gonna pop. I don't know. And sooner rather than later, Doge won't be 10 cents 4 weeks from now. I mean, you could clip that. You could play that 4 weeks from now.
Yeah.
There's just not enough money for Dogecoin to be worth 10 billion. 4 weeks from now, if the price stayed the same, it would be worth, I don't know, 12 billion just because there's going to be that much more of these made. The whole point of Bitcoin is its scarcity. It's the exact opposite with Dogecoin. There's no scarcity with Dogecoin. There's not going to be enough buyers to keep driving this up.
See,
I hate that Elon's doing that.
It's such a great and important thing about Bitcoin that there's a finite amount. There will never be more than 40 million Bitcoin. So it's just like a gold standard in that way, you know? But better. It's better than a gold standard because you can't find more somewhere, you know?
Reddit, a lot of people on Reddit miss the bus on that. And it's something that Reddit shouldn't, because it's kind of the age group where Bitcoin was kind of, they're younger. They should have jumped onto it, but they didn't. Now they're jealous. Now they're mad, and they want to outlaw it because it's not green. They'll say, oh, it's a waste of so much electricity, and they'll use fuzzy math to be like, to mine 1 Bitcoin, you could run New York for 5 years or whatever. They use fuzzy math like that. And it's just like, oh, God, here we go again.
But, dude, Bitcoin has to be green. I know nothing about it. But look, let's say it takes mining 1 Bitcoin for 5 years or whatever. But once they're all mined, now what? Now is it super green?
No, because there's still going to be ledger. The whole point of it is those computers that are mining it, what they're doing is they're creating the blockchain. If I send you money, they put that in the blockchain, and it takes electricity to do that. So in fact, by then, there's going to be more available, or there's going to be more out there, ideally more circulating, and people believers in Bitcoin, more being used every day. So it's going to be more electricity, because you're going to have boom, 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 boom. And something's going to have to go and record that and do the work.
Huh.
The whole idea is decentralized, of course, instead of a bank where someone literally takes the check and mails it to this bank, and they verify it, and they take
Right.
money
Isn't that
and mail it
much less
back.
green than doing a Bitcoin? You could print the
don't
paper. You got a
know.
big machine in a
Yeah.
factory. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the
I
thing,
don't
I
know
don't know.
either, but I just assumed that a digital currency would
But
be.
that's a detractors. And you'll hear people say, oh, it's changing because Ethereum's going to proof of ownership instead of proof of work. But still, there's something's going to have to put stuff on the blockchain, and it's going to take electricity when that happens. It's just the fact of it. And Bitcoin's not going to be completely mined for, I don't know, 120 years or something like that.
Nuh-uh. Is it
And that-
really?
Yeah, something like that.
I
It's a
never
long
looked.
time.
I never looked into that, but I sort of in my mind thought like
I mean,
pretty
they
soon
basically-
they've got them all.
No, they basically know when the date is, the last Bitcoin.
Oh,
In
funny.
the mining, the proof mining gets harder constantly. So it takes more electricity to mine one Bitcoin type of thing too.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Garrett.
Yep.
Right now it is February 8th of 2021.
Yep.
What is the highest price that Bitcoin will rise to in 2021? I'll pull up the Bitcoin value again.
Do you want me to be conservative or do you want me to be
Give me
you want me
both.
to-
Give me both
do you
answers.
want me a bold prediction?
Yeah, give me a bold prediction.
49,999. It's gonna bounce off 50,000.
I like it. That's great.
that's the
It's
whole
great
thing
because
about
we're
Bitcoin,
right
too.
there right now too. I like that about your bold prediction.
That's the thing about Bitcoin too. When you look at stocks, there's always like earnings. If they hit it, if they miss it, there's the P to E, kind of your profit to your whatever. I mean, there's stuff you can look at. With Bitcoin, there isn't. There's only thing is they'll talk about kind of like supports. So if it starts losing money, where most of the buys are, and they'll talk about I forgot the term for it, but where all the sells are. And a lot of times it's psychological type of barriers like 50,000, where people will say like, I don't think it's going to go up 50,000. So put it right below then. And if it doesn't quite break it, it starts
It drops.
plummeting.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I've seen that with stocks.
And the other thing that kind of drives this is kind of, there's a huge debate how real this is. But they supposedly could look at the analysis, like the line analysis of stocks. It came from stock market, and they could see patterns going, oh, look, this is doing a head and shoulders. It's worth this much. It's spiked up, but it came back down. And it's not spiking back up. That scientifically proves that there's not much demand. It's going to go down. So like type in head and shoulder pattern so we can even show people what it looks like. So what that started to do then, that was in stocks, and it's supposed to say it's supposed to be a scientific type of thing where there it is right there, a head and two shoulders. It used to be a thing where they said this shows because they could look at how much and it's usually a little bit more obvious than actually the head's usually even higher, but they could look at that saying this is scientific proof that people are not as interested. There's more selling pressure than buying pressure. And there's other ones, reverse head and shoulders, that show look, there's more people getting interested in this. But then it started turning into reading tea leaves a bit, where they would go and look at these, go, this looks like it. And it started to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. People going, this looks like a head and shoulders to me. I'm going to get out.
Oh, yeah.
So then people brought that over to crypto.
Creates it. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So not only is it a self-fulfilling prophecy, in crypto, especially early on, when you had Dogecoin worth under a penny and the supply was less, you could take a couple $1,000s and you could kind of make these by saying, all right, I'm going to buy a bunch here and then I'm going to sell. And then I'm going to buy way more and I'm going to sell. And people will start thinking that it's a head and shoulders and they'll get out.
Damn,
so
that's
people
interesting.
started making the pattern.
That's good to know.
Yeah, head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders. There's one called cup and handle, bull flag. I mean, there's a ton of them that traders look for.
Yeah.
So you have, so it's kind of with crypto, that's the only thing that's where its intrinsic value is at, really. The patterns, hype, Tesla buying it, that sort of thing. That's why there's not as much supporting it when it starts going down and people panic buy and then they panic sell. That's why we're going to see that exact same pattern with Bitcoin probably forever.
Well, yeah, or until at some point it'll be much more solid what the hell Bitcoin is, you know.
if anything, the argument you made is doing the exact opposite. It's becoming more. It used to bounce around between like 300 and 1,000. Now we have 3,000 and looks like 50,000.
Yeah, but like, for example, if I could go to the pizza shop and buy a Bitcoin for 0.0002 Bitcoin, all of a sudden, Bitcoin would maybe be much more stable or just up.
Here's the problem. You will never, ever be able to buy a pizza or coffee or anything with Bitcoin because it's too expensive. That would cost you about $50 in transaction fees. $30.
Yeah, but maybe that will be fixed.
You
Where
can't
a transaction
decentralize.
fee is cents.
There's people that say like the Lightning whatever will help it and stuff, but they can't. It's decentralized. I mean, there's no board of Bitcoin where people go and make decisions. This is it. Pandora's box opened. You could fork it, but it's not Bitcoin anymore. Then it's Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Gold.
So I don't get what a fork is.
People copy it and basically say, "Hey, we're gonna fix it." They copy it because anyone can go and copy it, and then they'll do something where they'll say, "Hey, we'll send this to your wallet," but that's kind of a deeper topic for another day. But there's really no changing Bitcoin. There's some Lightning network that there's supposedly the white paper way back when had implemented in. It's turned out to be not much of anything. There's Bitcoin is decentralized. There's nobody that can sit around and think we're going to change Bitcoin. Can't be done anymore.
Interesting. Well, dude, one thing before we go on to something else. So you said that Tesla just bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and you think some other companies might do.
I can see it starting that. I don't know if it's going to.
I could see it starting that too. I think it might.
Especially.
I feel like if I was a CEO of AT&T or something, I'd go, why don't we buy some Bitcoin?
The first time this bubble happened, we'll call it the retail bubble. Retail investors, the small people, when it went up to $20,000, I think it was Snapple. The company Snapple made some stupid announcement that they were putting their Snapple juice on the blockchain. Basically, something stupid that made no sense.
Yeah.
Snapple stock blew up.
That's funny.
And then I think it was like MoneyGram, which nobody uses the MoneyGram, came out and said they were going to work with Ripple, and MoneyGram blew up. So I could see other companies that are kind of struggling but have a lot of cash doing the same thing for that same reason.
And if that happens soon, like in the next couple days or week, I think it might shoot Bitcoin's price over the 50K kind of.
Tesla's the big one. I mean, I think Tesla's the biggest company that's going to do that. I don't think you're going to see any other.
No one's else going to put a billion into it.
They're kind of in a unique situation with. They're just in a unique situation there. I don't think anyone else is going to do that. I think smaller companies are. Tesla did that. That's the biggest news ever. The first one's going to move the most. We probably went up about 20% today. I think that if another company does it, we'll probably get a little 5% bump, maybe even 10%.
Yeah.
But it's already going to correct a little bit. I think that we're already going to see it drop down a bit more before that anyway, before it comes out. Because also a company's going to want to buy it before they announce it. Because if Tesla would have announced, hey, we're going to go and buy Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin would have jumped and they would have paid more money. They were smart. They're buying it at 30,000 and they go and announce we bought Bitcoin. Now their 1.5 billion is worth 2.3 billion or whatever it would be. Because they probably bought most of it at $30-something thousand.
Oh, yeah.
That correction that we even kind of said, he said to me, like, yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's kind of recovering already. That was probably Tesla buying Bitcoin.
Probably.
And just driving out the price just because that's a lot of buying pressure.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, they
must be nice to just make money by
out.
Buying the thing.
They wanted that to not get out until they had their $1.5 billion then.
Yeah, and so they got it all in, and now they go, hey, we bought a bunch, and all of a sudden they already made 500 million,
Yep, and I think it even drove up price of Tesla stock a bit. Speaking of Tesla stock, did you see where Nancy Pelosi had her husband buy like millions of dollars of calls into Tesla right before Biden announced that they're going to switch to all electric vehicles?
That's gotta be illegal, right?
Could you imagine if a Republican did that under Trump? How much that'd be talked about? I don't think the news is even talking about it.
No, they
How
aren't.
pathetic is that?
She's going to get a complete pass on that.
Oh yeah, she's gonna make millions of dollars.
I'm so offended by that. I just want every senator, every congressman, just throw them all
Seriously,
in jail.
think if that was, I don't know, Ted Cruz when Trump was president. That would have been a scandal, and it would have been reported on nonstop.
Well, I think it's actually illegal. You know,
Type
it's
in
completely
Nancy Pelosi
illegal.
quick in the news. See if anything comes up about it.
Oh man, I guarantee it won't. But I think it's a great idea. Let's do this.
Hit the news tab.
Somebody claims she's to blame for the Capitol riot. Okay.
Look at nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
What the hell of it? Type in Tesla after that just to see if anything comes up.
This will, I bet. Buys Tesla calls. Stands to benefit from the new Biden electric vehicle plan. God, this has to be. Go arrest this old witch.
Yeah.
Well, what? Honestly, why do we have an FBI and a CIA?
And she did the same with Disney, and now Disney's going way up, which is counterintuitive. They've been shut down for fucking ever, and they're bleeding money. But
I should start following Nancy Pelosi's stock picks.
you know, people do that. There is a place you go, like kind of like where the big insiders are putting their money and stuff.
That's smart. Because
Yeah.
I mean, obviously these are great buys, especially calls right before you mandate electric vehicles.
Yeah, calls are huge. Like I said, it's buying
Pisses
on
me
stereo.
off.
And she's not going to gamble millions of dollars on calls, unless she knows it's going up. This is a stock that is up 10,000% since the pandemic for really no reason, no big reason, and she's gambling $1 million that it's going to go up, or she loses all $1 million.
Yeah.
She obviously knew.
So she knew. She obviously freaking knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. How and it's already illegal. Why isn't she under arrest?
I don't know. I just would love to see in a different world. Dude, you want to make money.
Yeah.
I hate to say this because I'm a Tesla fanboy.
Short Tesla?
Short Tesla.
Or buy puts?
I would buy puts. It's a little safer.
Yeah, I'd buy puts.
It's good. But the problem, puts are extremely expensive right now. There it is, DZD. Hey, buddy. Do you agree with me on that? Short Tesla?
Is Disney making their stock go up despite the park closure?
Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that is helping there.
And that was supposed to be the Netflix killer. People were selling Netflix. Do you know how many Netflix killers I've heard in my entire life? So when Netflix was $14, pre-splits, like it's had numerous splits since then, people were rushing to sell when they were going to bump their price up like $1 or $2. And then they did it again when they discontinued the mailing you the DVD. People went and rushed out. If they didn't do that, it would be worth, I mean, it's like, what, $600? And it's split numerous times. So your $15, one stock's probably worth thousands right now.
Oh,
but yeah, like I said, I don't know if you miss it. I'm a huge Tesla fanboy. I've got one. I've got another pre-order. And I'm looking at a third one potentially because they're just the greatest cars ever. But the stock price is basically already baked in that every single person in the world drives a Tesla almost. It's crazy.
But yeah, that makes me want to buy a put on Tesla, honestly.
I know.
Maybe I'll buy like a long
Here's the bad
put.
thing with puts is you just got to time the market.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe I'll buy a long one, and then you don't really have to time it.
Especially right now, we're in like the longest bull market ever. There's a lot of stocks that I bought calls on, a lot of calls. And I kind of stupidly did it before earnings. But a lot of calls on like, God, I'm trying to think now, Chewy, Callaway, Brunswick, all of these, they're all way higher than when I bought the calls, like way higher. And I'm way down just because I bought calls.
That sucks.
And they expired. And I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
That theta crushed me.
If you would have just bought stock, you would have been way up.
NVAX, I sold a bunch of NVAX at $2.50. I was pissed at myself. I bought calls of NVAX at $100 with a $100 strike price. And it's now $319, and I lost a couple grand on that.
Oh, man.
If I would have timed this right,
yeah,
I would have made 20 grand for every call I had.
Oh, man. How exciting would that have been?
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Boy, it is killing it right now.
Yeah. So it looks like of all of the vaccines for COVID, it looks like theirs might be the best one. It used the least amount of stuff. It's got like a tenth of the stuff like Pfizer's injection does, like even the bulk of it. And it doesn't have to be stored at negative a bazillion degrees.
Cool.
And this
Good for
isn't
them.
even okayed in the U.S. yet, I don't think. I think they just got through like their third trials or something. So there's a chance this is going to run up more. I got a buddy, that same buddy, Vic, that I was talking about that got scammed the 5 Bitcoin and keeps falling for the shit.
Oh, that's the same guy?
He's got thousands of these. Thousands. He's a normal guy, too, that went to work just like us and stuff, but now he's got over $1 million from the stock.
Good for him, man.
He was a believer way back when they had an RSV vaccine for newborns they were trying out, it hasn't been done for RSV. And they failed it by like 2% and it plummeted. And he lost like 80,000. He just said, I'm still buying more. I'm going to buy more.
Wow, good
And
for
now
him,
it's
man.
Way more than it was before the RSV thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but this is going to be one to watch in the next few days too, is NVAX. It's kind of had, if you go to Max or 5 years or Max there, it's kind of a company that's been just tons of disappointments and failures in their past.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah,
man. Back in
ton.
2001, they were up to almost 300. That's awesome.
Tons of misses and disappointments. It looked like before the pandemic, their goal was going to be to sell to a bigger company. So you look at that whole thing. I sold about 100 shares at the absolute lowest there right in 2019. So,
oh, damn. Sorry to
if I
hear
didn't
that.
sell
Sorry to hear that, Garrett.
Tesla and Bitcoin, I would be sitting a lot prettier right now.
Man, you could have got it for $4 over here.
Oh, I sold for $250. I sold 100 of them.
For $2.50?
Yep.
Yep.
And the only reason I did it, I didn't need the $250. I did that for the tax write-off because I bought it higher. And I thought, well, I'll use that $3,000 as my losses this year. So I sold it. I even thought to myself, like, should I just buy right back? And I was like, screw it. It's a shitty company with a shitty CEO. And then the pandemic hit.
Oh, man.
Oh, there we go.
Did that with SLV. What is SLV?
Silver.
Oh.
So you don't have to put stock there.
Is it up way right now?
$25 it looks like. I mean, I'm guessing when
This is
like
when they're
hit
talking-
5 years, like it was a big run on silver. It hit max, I
wow.
guess. Silver went up to like $55. There it is. Right. Left.
Yeah,
It went to like 55 for a little bit, and people went crazy, bought it, and it dropped back down. Yeah, even 25 is pretty high for silver. I mean, it was sitting at 19. Yeah, I think even $14. What'd you sell it for, DZP? Yeah, I got quite a bit of physical silver.
Ron Paul dollars?
I bought it at a Ron Paul convention, my first silver.
Cool.
It was a poor college
I was
student.
probably there. I remember that, actually, I think.
They were selling silver for spot. I thought, I'll get a couple $100 of this. And that kind of started it. I bought it like $12, and it just started going up and up. And
I wish I had some, I would like to have some silver and some gold. Why not?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it's nice to diversify. Those used to be considered the volatile stock, or the volatile stuff to buy. And now it's just the opposite. I mean, it's almost like a stable coin, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Bitcoin is, this time around, it's close to its max. If we could get in a time machine and go ahead, it's going to be worth a lot more. I think DZD, when he said that GameStop's going to settle around $40 way back then, it looks like he might be right. It's kind of like trending that way.
Oh, is it? I wonder what it's at right now.
Let's go look.
60.
And I think if I remember right, he said about 40 he thought he was going to settle at.
Yeah.
And that's when it was like skyrocketing up. He said that.
Yep. Poor GameStop.
Yeah, look at that.
Boom. That was a bad day for it. Bad few days.
Yes, it was.
Well, I had
There's
kind
still
of
people fighting the good fight, saying that the short squeeze hasn't happened. The guy that kind of started all this, Deep Fucking Value, I think he still owns most of his. He turned like $50,000 into, I don't know, was it like 25 million or something for a little bit?
You know, the thing about the short squeeze hasn't happened yet. Like, isn't it supposedly still over 100% shorted?
I don't think anyone really knows.
But can't people check that? Maybe it takes a while to
I think you
update.
look at contracts, you can look at the puts and stuff, and that kind of shows you the naked shorting and stuff. But I don't know if we really, and that's always kind of in the rear and stuff.
But can you
so
imagine?
You won't know for a long time.
Can you imagine?
Let's say a week. Let's say it was a week behind. You find out, okay, well last week it was 100%, but it's been sitting at $60 for a week, so it's probably not anymore. So you just never really know. It'd be nice if you could instantly see, but I don't think there's a way we could do that where we could see like right now.
Okay, but let's pretend we could see right now, and it was at 120% shorted. Wouldn't we think that theoretically it might skyrocket?
Is I'm guessing people shorted it at about $400, and then they're in profit. Right. So they can close out at any time.
Oh yeah,
giant profit.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's kind of like
but if we knew
100% of people shorted below $60, then yes.
Yeah.
13. Yeah, he was sitting at like that $12 to $14 forever, and it was a good sell because it was sitting there forever while we're in the biggest bull market that the stock market's ever seen, and you're watching everything fly up while you got it in the stable coin of silver. I did the same thing.
Yep,
it's hard to sit there with something not moving when you could throw a dart at a dartboard and that stock's going up.
Right. And you're always thinking of this new stock you like, and you're like, maybe I should sell this one and buy this one. And then that one takes off. Yeah. It's like you're stuck in traffic and you get in the other lane and it stops.
Man, they've made some hilarious videos on that. They made some hilarious videos on that on like crypto traders, because that would happen all the time. I'm so sick of Tron, I'm going to get over into Ripple because Ripple's taking off and I'm missing it. Then Ripple drops and Tron goes up.
Yep, that's perfect.
Yeah, see, I lost about, God, what was it? I did the math today. I shouldn't have. Almost $30,000 I lost on selling NVAX, about 40,000 selling Tesla, and now 70,000 probably on Bitcoin. So I'm talking like $130,000. That's a lot of money for me.
Yeah, that's brutal, man.
And I held Tesla for so long, and NVAX I basically sold for a pack of gum. Bitcoin, I don't blame myself. It was going way up and way down, and I needed that to.
It's funny to think Bitcoin's worth $50K right now.
Yeah,
I sold 3 of them for $1,200 way back when.
Yeah, see, I don't regret. I don't beat myself up for selling.
I don't either.
I beat myself up for selling Tesla and NVAX, but not Bitcoin.
Well, here's kind of a funny video, Garrett.
Oh, God. Jesus.
You see how close that came so close to
Oh my God. How much do you think he thinks that every night when he's trying to go to sleep? That would give me that existential dread if that happened to me.
Yep. It comes out of the fog too from the other train. That's what's funny about it. We'll show it one more time. But the steam from this train covers it, so you can't see it coming. See this? And it just appears. That's so close.
God, that thing was booking too.
Yeah.
Man, I got a video that kind of related. Go to YouTube and type in like kids stuck under train.
Okay.
Poor kid. Go to the top one probably, so we don't have to hear Tosh. I think it's the same one. I'm guessing.
Holy shit! You gotta be kidding me. He's under a train right here.
Fucking Deckard, boys.
His best friend's telling him he's dead.
He's telling me
Brad, you're fucked.
I know, but I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die, he says.
I fucking imagine you're gonna fucking die. You're underneath the fucking train.
What the fuck?
How did he get there?
That's fucking awesome, though.
What do you do? Pause it real quick.
This guy's on.
What do you do right here if you're there?
Exactly what he's doing.
I just make myself the smallest I can be.
Yeah.
And I fucking pray because what the hell?
Yeah.
Right?
But you know what?
His buddy's like, you're fucking dead. He's like, I know. He's like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. This is a hell of a guy. But do you know what you actually do? You look down and you wait to see that big fucking bar that's going to come kill you, you know, or whatever. And you make sure that's not happening. As long as that's not happening, you lay there. But once you see that, now you have to look out and decide when you're going to jump and try not to get cut in half. Right? Because if you see a big thing it's about to smash you, you have to try to leap out in between the wheels. Does that happen here, Garrett?
You have to watch.
Under a fucking train.
You better hope there's no bar. No kidding.
Now, where are the trains got its brakes on right now? Do they know? Dad!
His friend should go.
I'm bleeding, Mark.
What?
I'm bleeding.
You're bleeding? Where? This guy is fucked.
What are you doing, dude?
Man,
Just
hey.
lay down.
Hey, you got time to roll out between wheels.
Huh?
You got time to roll out between wheels.
That's bad advice.
Chuck that to me. Now, chuck it to
Why
me.
is he worried about his fucking bag?
Yeah.
Next
No.
one, next one, not that one.
Oh my God.
No. All right. Now. Hurry up, man. Oh my fuck, dude.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
That video gives me more anxiety than any video I've ever seen.
What do you think about his decision to come out?
I don't think it's a smart one. How great is that feeling when he got out?
No,
But I don't think it's a smart one. I think you try to see if there's a bar coming. I know it puts you on a very strict timeline. Oh, God. I hate to think about it.
Yeah, that's. I'm not. That's a sticky situation he was in. How did he get under that?
I don't think I ever sleep ever again after that. Just thinking how close I was to dying.
Oh, here's another pretty interesting little video, sort of similar. Ready for this one, Garrett?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Give that guy
I know.
every award ever. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Give
Hero.
me his Venmo. Yeah.
I know. Give me his Venmo. That's how I feel, dude. This
There
dude.
is some really crazy close.
She would have been dead. You know.
There's some really crazy kind of close encounter type things.
There's tons of crazy ones where it's like maybe there are angels You know, really. It's like a bar will fall, cut the guy's shirt in his armpit, but not kill him. You know, or something.
Yeah.
Just a piano will fall right behind a guy. There's tons of videos like that, and they're all great.
Yeah, I know. God, I still can't remember that train one. That train one just bugs me every time.
Yeah.
Man, we're not going to have time to do our medical marvel or our conspiracy again today.
Yeah. I think it was a great show. I think we covered a lot.
What is it today? Tuesday? We're going to just go Thursday. Or no, it's Monday today. We might just go Wednesday again.
Yeah, I'd probably be in.
Yeah. Well, let's tentatively plan on that.
Yeah.
Making a prediction. Bitcoin hits 49,900 and drops down.
Okay. I'm going to say it goes. I'm just going to say that. Well, when does it do that, Garrett?
GCD, I'm down $3,500 on Nokia contracts this week.
I think it's going to go over 50, like right now, and it's going to go to 55 and then sit there and then maybe drop. But then I'm going to say I think it's going to go over 100K this year.
Oh, you do? You think this year?
Yeah, but I'm completely basing that on nothing. You know, I don't know. Look how much it's going up. Yeah.
Well, and Dogecoin, what's your prediction for? It's early in the month. Let's say on the 1st of March. What's your Dogecoin prediction?
1 cent. I think it's going to drop all of it like next week.
Phew, I can't wait to see.
What about yours?
Cents. I'll say 3.
Do you think it's at its peak right now?
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, what could happen? I mean,
Elon's pumping it, and this is all he can do.
Yeah, they already got Elon to pump it a couple times. They already stole the Wall Street bets juice. I mean, there's really nothing out. I mean, they've hit the peak of it right now.
Yeah. If I had any, I would sell it now.
When you see giant pumps like this, a lot of times the dumps, for some reason, don't dump. I think it's because people buy it 10 cents, and they think, like, all right, it's worth 3 cents now. I might as well not even sell and hope it goes back up. So I think it never really, or doesn't, I shouldn't say never, because there's obviously exceptions, but a lot of times it doesn't go all the way back down. It like sits there and stays.
Yeah, that's probably what's happening with GameStop right now. That's why it's still at 60.
Oh, God dang.
Too many people bought in at 300.
Really, we were talking in the beginning that GameStop needs to make some significant changes. They're going the way of Toys R Us here.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Right.
This again gave them a second life. If there is no short to squeeze, boy, you're bag holding a dying company that you're hoping could make some changes.
Yep, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, should we call it, Garrett?
Yeah, let's call it. It's been a long show.
Yeah, great show.
We're done for hiatus. Nate passes test.
Well, that's not for sure, but hopefully I passed my test.
I got faith in you.
Thanks, man.
We'll be back tentatively Wednesday. We'll kind of.
Yeah.
We'll say tentatively Wednesday.
Yeah, see you all then.
Schedule here, though. We keep saying it. We're actually going to get one.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yep, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting again.
Yep, peace.
We will see you guys.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and